Welcome back. In this lesson, we'll be putting some of our new knowledge about the helix to work in a model. Let's begin with a 3D sketch. I'll activate the Line tool, tab to get to the YZ plane. Now let's create a line along the X-axis. Tab to change planes. My second line along the X-axis. Tab to get back to the XY axis. My third line will be a vertical line. And my fourth line will cross the first at an angle. A vertical line. Tab key to change planes, the last line along the Z-axis. Right-click and select. Okay, let's apply dimensions. And relations. This line will make 100 millimeters. Accept. Let's add a construction line. It'll be between this point and the center of this line. Right-click and select. Select the construction line and click along Y. Smart Dimension. This line will be 40 millimeters. Accept. This line 30 millimeters. Accept. This line will make 50 millimeters. Accept. And 30 millimeters here. Accept. Last line 40 millimeters. Okay. Now let's create the second part of this sketch. We'll start with a line along the Z-axis, then a vertical line. Tab to change planes. Another vertical line. Tab to change planes again. Last line along the Z-axis. Right-click and select. Let's add a couple of construction lines. The first will be along the X-axis. Right-click and chain. The second line will be along the Y-axis. And right-click and select. Let's show the sketch relations. View, Sketch Relations. Looks like we've already got our relations in place. Let's hide the relations and click Smart Dimension. 100 millimeters here. Okay. 30 millimeters here. Okay. This line will be 50 millimeters. Okay. And the angular dimension, 135 degrees. This line will be 30 millimeters. Okay. Last one, 40 millimeters here. Accept. Now we've got a fully defined 3D sketch. Let's add a couple more lines. The first will be along the Z-axis. Right-click, select. The second will be a construction line also along the Z-axis. Right-click and select. Let's shift-select both lines and add an equal relation. And now let's apply some dimensions. 20 millimeters, okay. Lastly, let's apply some sketch fillets. Yes, to adjust for the equal relation. And let's apply our 10 millimeter fillet on a few more corners. The rest of the fillets will be 20 millimeters in radius. First line here. And here. 3. And 4. Exit the tool. Our sketch is fully defined. The distance between these 2 points is 80 millimeters. Let's insert a driven sketch to verify. Make this dimension driven, okay. Let's exit the sketch. We're ready to apply the helix. We're going to create a helix between these 2 points. Let's start by inserting a plane. Okay. Now let's insert a sketch on plane 1. Activate the circle tool. Place it about here. Let's dimension it at 60 millimeters in diameter. Okay. And exit the sketch. By the way, in order to create a helix, the sketch only needs to contain a circle. Let's go to Insert, curve, helix spiral. Select the circle. And now let's make some adjustments in the Property Manager. Let's make a 20mm pitch with 4 revolutions. Start angle will be 90 degrees. Actually, let's change that to 180 degrees. And click OK. Let's insert another 3D sketch. Select the helix and click Convert Entities. Let's connect these 2 points. We'll do it using the Spline tool. The next point will be along the XY and the last point here. Shift select, add a tangent relation. Shift select on this side as well and add a tangent relation. Let's create a similar spline on the other side of the helix. Right-click and select. Now let's shift select the spline and this point and add tangency. Again, shift select and add tangency. At this point, we've completed our sketch. Let's exit the sketch. We need one more sketch on the front plane. Let's activate the Circle tool. Dimensions, 5 mm in diameter. OK. Exit the sketch. Let's go to the Surfaces tab. Activate the Swept Surface tool. The profile's already pre-selected. For our path, let's use the Selection Manager. Select Group. And click OK. OK again. Let's check the front view and the left view. Everything looks OK. This concludes our lesson about using a helix.